Hi everyone, and welcome to a new stream, starting with WARNO. And the new stuff coming to WARNO with the next patch for sure. As Eugen said in the blog post this week, they're not sure how long they will take with finishing the German divisions. They had a long time doing all the modules, that's why Devo got postponed, but it is on a good way. They said they only miss a couple modules, but some of them are really important ones, like the the Leopard 2. Leopard 2 is still in the making, but we also will get other changes, and one of the changes you see in front of you. Oh yeah, mute games, thanks. Don't you just like half of my face? Yeah, one of the changes that will come, you can see here, which is the MiG-27K Seat, the first PEG Seat plane with two KH-28 anti-radar missiles, which with 28 penetration nuke everything they hit. And I can also do it like this, only half the face this way. Maybe I'm the next Batman opponent in the next Batman movie. Was watching Batman last night, really good movie. Yeah, Seat plane is coming. Let's move my camera over here. That would be Two-Face, yeah. Yeah, but Two-Face is half face, right? And then I would only show half of my face all the time, and then I would show the other side, and it's fucked up, so yeah. I'm not Saxon. How would you come up with me being Saxon? I'm Mecklenburger. KH-28. Yeah, genau. That's one of them. Then, another change in the armory is here. The shooting reactor boots. There's more stats now. Suppression and stuff all the same, but then there's more stats down here. Supply cost for reloading of the weapons helps you there. I'm pretty confident it's the full supply cost of the weapon when it's fully loaded. Like each of these costing 140, together 280. Obviously for planes not as important, but if you go for example to an infantry squad, it shows you 7 supply for the MG. Might be per round. But that would be weird. Maybe it's per round. I would say it's for the full reload, though. 140 for the Panzerfausts. As a single supply truck, as you can see. Here, supply only brings 800. So I'm pretty yeah, I'm 100% confident it's full resupply. So, for example, you could refill 4 times the full Dragoon Stalko missile slot. If it's fully emptied, you could refill 4 mechanized rifle squads with one of these 800 point supply trucks. And yeah. So that's that. Then another stat is the shooting attributes, where you have aiming time, how long the unit needs to before it can fire, which is not changing with veterancy anymore. They removed that. Reload time, salvo length, and then rate of fire whilst not reloading, obviously. How fast they shoot per minute. And yeah, they shoot 200 one salvo shots to 200 single shots per minute. It doesn't quite show you the... Oh no, yeah. Doesn't quite show you. The salvo, I guess, is 200 shots before they have to reload. Not 100% sure how long a salvo, like, that is not still not fully fleshed out, but it's more stats, and I'm pro more stats. One thing that would be really cool would be like a page with simplified stats, and then you could click something, or you could press something, and then it shows you more stats, like 2 stat cards. One with all the base stats, like HE damage, range, like the basics, that like the stats you have in Steel Division, for example, or maybe even a bit less, and then Press a button and then you see all the stats. Like the reload time, aim time, supply cost. Stuff like that. And then the last thing we have here is reveal influence, which means, for example, like most of the units here have no. This means reveal influence. All of them have no. This one has yes. Okay, the BTR has yes. From what I remember, that shows you, this unit shows you is shown when it is in the zone. It has this pushing of the zone isn't shown by these units with reveal influence. It's interesting that some of the commanders don't have it. Yeah, I'm not 100% certain how that works. Like this might indicate why you sometimes, if you have a combined zone, it's still grayed out. Like that's influenced by the stat, but I'm not 100% certain how it actually works when it says yes and when it says no. But yeah, the tooltip says indicates the capacity to display the influence line, which is like the frontline system in zones. And supply trucks, for example, can do it. So I'm not 100% sure how this all works out. But yeah, we get Soviet Seats. Stats will get a rework. A couple of prices will get reworked, like transport helicopters. They are not reworked yet here. They're still 75 points here. But they will get cheaper, I'm pretty sure. The Black Hawk going down to 60 or 55, I would guess. And yeah, the prices over here still haven't changed. So yeah, most prices stay the same though. Those are some of the changes. Then another big change is heat is now a thing again. So infantry AP values work differently on heat. All the high explosive anti-tank weapon systems now have a different system of calculating penetration. And then another calculation system that changed is ECM. ECM is now not a clean cut. Like before it was like if something had 50% accuracy and you had 30% ECM, you would reduce it down to 20. It would have been a subtraction. Now it's really it's divided, so it's like it reduced by 30%. So out of 50%, that would be 15%. So it would be going down to 35% instead of 20%. So it's basically in 99% of the cases a nerf of ECM. Or like, no, in 100% of the cases, a nerf of ECM, not in 99%. So, which might make AA a bit too strong, currently. But yeah, that's how ECM works now. So, yeah. I mean, makes more sense with the percentage. And I like the idea of it, because before with the subtraction, it reduced the accuracy of inaccurate AA just way too low, often. And like inaccurate AA was kind of garbage, like the Coupe, for example. With 40 it was always reduced to the minimum, basically. And now high ECM will still make it really low accuracy, but not down to the complete Pega level, and like low ECM will still struggle against Coupe as well. So that is the nerf. And they have 40 heat changes. There's also, as we can go to one of the new maps, something I wanted to show anyway. There's also a new part in the manual explaining to you how it works. It works basically like in Wargame. If you knew Wargame before, it basically works the same as it worked there. And yeah, weapons, tanks, I think it is. Accuracy, heat. Some shells, generally rockets or missiles, use special shaped charges, explosive warheads, called high explosive anti-tank or heat, which are capable of piercing armor. because their penetration performance relies on explosive energy rather than kinetic energy. Heat warheads are not fired on high speed. In other words, the shell does not lose power with distance. You can find if a weapon can shoot this kind of warhead by looking for the heat symbol in the weapons manual. That's the small explosion. It's exactly the same. So no, it's not changed yet. Okay, this still needs to change. It's basically now... Yeah, this is still the wrong calculation. The thing is, it works the exact same till 10. Difference between the AP power and the ammo value. Currently that is, for every AP that you have over the ammo value, you get 0.5 more damage. But once you hit the threshold of 10, it doesn't get an additional 0.5, it gets an additional 1. So at 10 more penetration power, you deal 6 damage, because it's 10 divided by 2, 5 plus 1 is 6. And if you then go to 11, you do 7 more damage instead of 6.5, which you do with normal tank guns and AP shells. So it will one-hit lower armor targets reliably again, but still AP shell, infantry AT weapons will not do any extra damage against tanks, which is a good system of making them, of allowing them to better balance, like allowing them to one-hit low armor value targets is really nice. Like even Law now deals 8 damage instead of 7 damage, for example, to a 2 armor unit deals 7 instead of 6.5 and stuff like this. So the damage output of infantry AT against light armor is higher, whilst it's unchanged against tanks, basically. And no, France is not in. Those are just the loading screens. France, there's a new roadmap that you can't find. They updated the roadmap yesterday. The first French and British divisions will come in May with Béziers. These are weird. Davos should come hopefully next week. Like, that is the goal of like goal was this week. With the modules still being in work, it should be next week if no big bugs come in the way. Otherwise, they will just give us the 3 new maps, with one of which you can see here. One of which will be a 10v10 map, if I remember correctly. And then the other one that I will show later. The 10v10 map I can't show because we don't have any 10v10 test servers. Yeah, so one at the beginning of March, this is this one, with 2 German divisions, 5th and 7th Panzer, that I already showcased. Then end of March, a mechanized and a division for each German nation as well, with another new map, and the first towed weapon systems, like towed artillery, towed sparks, I would guess, because the towed missile systems, like, I guess those would include anti-tank missiles and maybe also anti-air missiles. I'm not 100% sure. I guess that those are the 2 missiles you would have then. Those will come with the first April patch, with more new maps as well. As you can see, new maps are in every single one of these. So new maps all 2 weeks is the plan here, because unlike Steel Division, Fusion said that they can make maps now way more efficiently, and that there should be more maps in the long run than there were for Steel Division, for example, which is really, really good. Like, they also obviously also hinted for map making tools maybe at some point in the future as well. Yeah. And yeah, in May we will get the first French and the first British division, which will make it NATO favored here, obviously. As you can see, every other patch till then will have a Soviet and a NATO, a Pact and a NATO division. But then in May we will get 2 NATO divisions at once. So I would guess the first, the patch afterwards will give us 2 Soviet divisions, or 2 Pact divisions at least. As at launch, there will only be 2 Pact nations, the GDR and Soviets. I would guess the next ones afterwards will be Soviets, because I don't know how many different maybe will be mixed. There will be a mixed division as well for the Pact, like a strike force that will have half GDR, half Soviet. But I would maybe not. And yeah, as we get to GDR divisions, I would expect that there will not be that many pure GDR divisions at launch. Or like nearly pure. I mean, 39th already has some GDR units, for example, as well. Just like 8th has some like Federal Republic units as well. So the upcoming patch also tells you here in the patch notes. ECM rework. Mortar rate of fire will also drop. And yeah, time limit option is in multiplayer as well now. In the lobbies. They want to hear the feedback to make it into ranked, so please let them know that you want it in ranked. Yeah, 40-minute time limit like in Wargame and in Steel Division Normandy would be really, really lovely. And yeah, let's have a look onto the map. Yeah, time limit will be in the next patch as well. And yeah, this map is the one that you might know from this screenshot. That was in quite a lot of blog posts. As you can see, it's quite a beautiful map. It has a bit of a foggy aesthetic, and I'm not 100% sold on it. And I hope it will not... I'm fine with one map having it, and it's obviously not super annoying. Like if you zoom out, it's a bit of a white filter, I guess. And I'm fine with that. If you zoom in, it also doesn't get too foggy, but it gets a bit foggy here when you get closer, which I like for the aesthetics. But it shouldn't be too many maps with that. It's doesn't have any gameplay influences. Map-wise, it's quite a forward map when it comes to the zones. All 6 zones are in the middle currently. Maybe a bit of a change here would be nice. Like Razzmann in his video talked about how he would like Delta to disappear and then make India and Echo a bit closer to the front line. And what I would like is a +1 zone or something to fight over here maybe as well. Like on the edge of the hill, or maybe even these 2 hills on the right side. But I would like one on the other side of the river. This is not just there for aesthetics. You can go to the other side of the river. There are bridges on close to each spawn, which you can cross. But there's no roads here whatsoever. So single road maybe here would be nice as well, because otherwise traversing this will be a nightmare. And only really possible with helicopters and infantry, because everything with fuel will run out of fuel before it makes it through the forest. It's just too much forest. Like either a bit of forest has to go so that you at least can travel via direct connection, just like a Schneise, or English word for Schneise, like just a clear-cut way through the forest where you can drive down, maybe without road, like that it's still slower, but yeah. Yeah, helicopter line of sight is on the fix. It's not fixed in the build I show you right here, but Eugen... Oh no, it's actually fixed in the build I have right here. Yeah, it's fixed. And that was actually the one that they gave us on Friday. There's still some crashes and so on. That's why they didn't give us this week either for the public. They should be they might be fixed by now as well, partially, but they wanted to make sure over the weekend and don't give us a new build that then crashes on the weekend, because that's obviously always nasty for early access. Yeah, this is one of the new maps. It's supposed to be a 3v3 map. When you start it, it gives you 3 bots on each side, 3 slots on each side. I would say it's pretty good at 2v2. 3v3, it might be a bit narrow as long as this and this is not really involved. Like here you have a road up to here at least, and it lacks that up to the radio tower. Like a road to the radio tower, first of all, would make sense. In like there is always a road going to the radio tower. Like how else would the maintenance personnel get there? So having a road up here would make sense just from that perspective, and then also would allow for a bit faster deployment into this area and make this area a bit more relevant as well, other than it being a sneaky way around. As I said, a zone over here would be nice. Like, don't know, around here, a +1 zone would be enough. Just make it something that's worthwhile fighting over a bit. That's my thought. If you want, put a little hut in here, and as I said, some clear-cut way where there's no trees that you can drive a bit faster through. And, like with off-road speed, I would say you don't really need a road here. Road wouldn't make that much sense, but just a way that so that tanks can traverse without running completely out of fuel. Like, yeah. So, any other optics have not been changed. Still my biggest gripe with the game currently, and yeah, I will keep on pushing for it. And if you want to keep pushing for it, push in the. If you feel like Recon has a mistake and so on, let the feedback known in the Eugen forum. Yeah. Some people say it's good enough. I full-heartedly disagree, and this is still my biggest problem with the game. But yeah, no changes to normal Recon. Only helicopter vision has been fixed because it was bugged. But like no changes to overall optics, which in my eyes are just that bit too low, and which might be more of an issue with like the forest cover, the cover that forest gives. You hover over forest for long enough, it usually pops up, doesn't it? Come on, forest. Does it only do that when the game starts? Let's start the game here for a second. What the hell happens? You have a building, it usually tells you as well, no? Where's the... It's not on this map, maybe. Is the cursor also doesn't change, maybe that's not implemented on this map yet. Yeah, okay. This is one of the maps. If you have any other questions regarding the map, or any other questions, let me know in the chat. Yeah. And let's switch over to the other map. Which is... Like, as I said, I can't show you the 10v10 map, as 10v10 maps ain't... Like, you can't just host a lobby with 10v10 maps. But the other map we got is a 2v2 map that also is, in my eyes, functional as a 1v1 map. It's a good design overall in the base layout of the map. What? Didn't I just launch it? Oh no, I clicked on leave, didn't I? The only issue it has is maybe that the zone design might need a slight buff. Yeah, this is 2 lakes. Obviously has a lake here, has a lake here. And it has 2+3 zones in the middle, and then 2+2 zones further back. And I would say 2+3 zones is a bit too much in the middle, like point-wise, per zone. And then there's a bit too little fight over other areas of the map. Like, they're somewhat central, and they're contestable, but if you if you only capture one of your zones, and make the other zone contested, it's still a +3 for you, which is already really quick for only having one more zone than the enemy. And if you capture both, obviously +6 is really brutal, and as they're both so central, that's viable on this map. And I would say make these +2, and then add a zone somewhat more in the open, because also these are heavily like town fighting zones. As you can see, it's both like that central around the village. So have a small zone over here and a small zone over here, like, and make them +1 around these like small farm estates and the forest next to them. I would say that would be quite nice. Or maybe make it around the 2 industry complexes and make it +1 there, or +2 even. But yeah, in the current state, it feels a bit too snowbally in the middle, and like it will be too much of a slugfest just around the small area. Obviously, it's a somewhat choke pointy map in a nice way, like not bridges or anything, but obviously the 2 lakes funnel you into the middle. Ilomanzi comes into mind when you see this map. It's Ilomanzi, right? Or is it Hantala? One of the Finnish maps in Steel Division 2. comes to mind. Like it has some Finnish vibes here as well, though it's obviously playing in Germany. Yeah, with that said, that's the map. If you have any more questions, let me know. These bots are just so hell annoying lately. Trying to sell me there. Trying to sell me followers. Hey Razzmann. Sure. I just saw that message. Damn, I missed that one. If you're still around, Razzmann, I'm playing a game. Here we have it. Here it works. Here you can see, yeah. And the stealth indicator says the multiplier is 3.75, which might be a bit high. Like maybe try 3. Like that's the feel I have. Like recon works super fine if you have it behind enemy lines. 2.75 here for forests. Maybe a 0.5 reduction to 2.5 or so. Like because yeah, I just feel recon gameplay currently is a bit off when it comes to frontline recon. With just except it has exceptional optics. It's like multiplied by 2.2. The rest just doesn't feel like it works well enough in my eyes. It's still too often that stuff shoots at you even when you have recon there and you still don't see it. Yeah. In the interfaces, it's like mostly in the. It's all in the deck creator that you have more stats there. And I don't think there's any in-game interface changes, but you have more stats here. And if you change units with transports, you now see the transport here. You choose it here. So this is really nice. And then you can pick the transport. Then I guess you still have to click it here. Just not optimal. I feel like a double click here should add it as well. But yeah. Overall, a good change. Like, good idea, I would say. Having it pop up like this. If you go for recon, for example. Oh, and another in-game change is recon now can be deployed forward in transport. Like recon infantry now can be deployed forward in transport. Yeah, works with Humvees and helicopters as well. So recon infantry has a better use case there as well now. Like having red gas, you can now deploy them forward as well and have an ambush or LRSs and get them there before the enemy can deploy. So infantry recon, especially with anti-tank weapons, now is way more deadly. Time limit is choosable between 10 to 80 minutes, I think. We just saw. Or is there 120? I think it's 10 to 80 minutes. Or 15 to 80? I guess 15 to 80 would make... I didn't check there. But yeah, it's for sure 20, 40 and 60 are options. So if you want to have a really quick match, 20, 40 should be the standard. And like, I guess 60 is like, if you want to have a time limit, but want to have it chilled, then 60 is the best. And if you want to have basically total destruction with a limit, could go for the 80 minute. I think there's an 80 limit. I might have to double check. But yep, let's fight around this. Well, 60 minutes is a fine time limit in my eyes to just play.
Bring us there, taxi.
Infantry with a T in forward transport is quite a scary addition in my book. Like this makes them so much more viable. Oh wow.
Yes, sir.
Infantry skirmishes will be interesting.
Bring us there, taxi.
No. 45 would have been the perfect time limit for Steel Division Normandy, that's for sure. But without phases, I think 40 minutes is fine. Like in Steel Division, 45 to 50 minutes, I think would be the best time limit. So if it comes to Steel Division 2, which they hinted at, that it might come to Steel Division as well, which I would love, 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 love. Then it might be at that.
What are your orders, sir?
Shall we try to... I would like to deploy all my LRs, guys, I think. He's coming all the way from here. Does he have any good road to the left? He has an okay road to the left. Let's try to get in here. Okay.
Ready to transfer.
I'm not that good with the 8th.
We'll deploy at this position. War Daddy to Red Leader. I'm listening. I hear you loud and clear.
Let's try to get a bit deeper here. We will need a bit of infantry on the left.
War Daddy to Red Leader. I'm listening.
This is a building, okay.
Looking for enemy plane.
That has a pretty good line of sight. Yeah, okay, line of sight. And this is a building. And I would say getting a +3 zone is worthwhile bringing a commander for. Plus, it also helps out all the units there. 85 points, yeah, that's not amazing. Engineer Flash, maybe? Or just a Dragon
Yes, sir.
transport with... Yeah, let's just go for the Dragon transport with team inside. Let's try to get this in here.
There, taxi.
But then it might actually be better to do... There's no connection road here. Yeah, okay. They have some pretty good recon options, that's for sure. They are not out, it's a preview. They are sad, like there were some glitches and crashes with them, so you sadly couldn't come out with them this week. Yeah, it should be hopefully fixed now.
Attention.
But yeah, warning, full-on warning, it might crash.
Yes, sir.
And obviously, yeah, can't do that this way. Let's try to get a recon helicopter. Hey, Reef. Nope, it's mine. I'm not female. Meine is the female form. Or the plural form. Meine Lieblingsstreamer. That would be like the plural form. Die Streamer. Or die Streamerin. Die Streamerin singular, die Streamer plural, der Streamer singular male. So yeah, short German lesson there.
Looking for enemy plane.
Yeah, German with all its glory.
We'll deploy at this position. Ready to transfer.
And all its horror.
Need a ride? Beware, commies nearby.
Oh,
Waiting for instructions. Bring us there, taxi. War Daddy to Red Leader. I'm listening.
oh,
Out there, you shoot first and
oh, nice, we got him.
yes, sir.
Yeah, as you can see, everyone still has to get used to the new changes.
Right up. Get in formation. If the enemy is in range, so are we. As you command, sir.
A lot of recon infantry running around. Let's test mortars. Mortars now have a bit lower rate of fire.
To Red Leader.
Okay, there's some stuff coming our way here. So we should try to get out some mech rifles here. Ooh. V-24 is around. Yeah.
Redeploy. Out.
Yeah, units that are stunned can still move now. They just don't shoot anymore. Which I guess is a good change. It's basically like fallback mechanic, only that you have control over it. Which I think is a solid idea on it. Which division is he playing against? He's playing the 39th. Oh yeah, I turned off, for some screenshots, I turned off the minimap. That's not in the standard. I just turned it off. Yeah. It's not a huge decision to not have it on anymore. That's just me. No worries. And yeah, on this map I don't think you need it too badly. Yes. Don't have to zoom out too far here.
Right up. Get in formation. One more hit, we're done.
Okay, we got the BTR.
Looking for enemy planes. Roger. Search and destroy.
Get the chaparral. Mech rifles. Something to capture this zone. What the? Oh, you're firing at my scout. Okay, yeah, sure. I mean, the scout was really helpful. So it's a bit of a shame to lose him. Hey. Happens. Oh, we lost line of sight on. Oh no, no tanks coming our way here. One A1 could be good in the middle. Nothing behind our lines. Oh. MTLBs. The law has fired most of its weapons.
Yes, Captain. Beware, commies nearby.
Let's try to fight over here.
Tank ready.
Oh. EMP3. Copy. Oh.
All ammo spent. Move, but watch our flames.
Oh.
Enemy nearby. Protect the gun. War Daddy to Red Leader. I'm listening.
Didn't I tell you to?
Reverse, but keep facing the enemy.
Shit.
Yes, Captain.
Okay. One BMP3 is gone.
We're badly hit.
Come on.
Enemy nearby.
get the other one. He smokes his. Okay, we got to disengage here. T80BVs coming over the open. Wait, Alpha Jets are 35 points now. Okay, yeah, that's way too cheap, no? Well, they are quite a kind of one-way tickets, I guess.
Go on. Going there. Everybody,
But are they that bad? I don't think so.
open your eyes.
Raven, go first.
Any target? Going there. Second platoon ready, sir.
Okay, get you out. Get you out.
Ready. Bug it out.
The Alpha Bird Strike has worked out.
Enemy spotted.
Get you up there.
If the enemy is in range, so are we.
You should be on return fire.
Medic!
You should be on return fire as well.
Yes, sir.
Jaegers move forward.
As you command, sir. Beware, Tommy's nearby.
Okay. But yeah, some, as you can see, some quite nice improvements in this.
Ryan, get down.
Seat worked fine there against the Osa and stuff. I mean, that's since the last patch. Oh, come on. Didn't get the kill there, really?
Tommy, right up. Get in formation.
Get the snap. G. Not smoke.
Platoon formed and ready. Alright, ladies. It's time to move.
And yeah, the infantry forward deployment makes infantry, the recon play, makes recon play in the early game at least way better. Which allows you for seeing more stuff there, which is a really good change in my eyes. Makes the recon play quite interesting. I like that part.
Beware, Tommy's nearby.
Wait, they already reloaded? Okay, that's interesting.
Platoon is formed and ready. Adjusting with target. March formation. Move out.
And yeah, like stuff like stunned units can still move is good in my book as well. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, it survives. Good job, Alpha Bird. Oh, you need to get the hell out of here, though.
Nearby.
Normal one. And some Jaegers.
Baker 5, ready.
Let's try to move you a bit forward.
Let's go, driver.
And yeah, the penetration system for heat's also really good. Helping infantry out against BMP3s and stuff. Which were a bit OP in the last patch.
You have orders, Captain?
Like this BMP3 there, against AT4, dies with one shot again. But tanks are still tanky, which was a really good change. Like infantry versus tanks was just way too good beforehand. And now it was too weak. It was like weak enough against the tanks, but it was too weak against other stuff. Yeah, you get another spawn here if you capture the side spawns.
Right up. Get in formation.
So you shouldn't let your the enemy get deep. Otherwise you might be in trouble. Wait. Oh, this is routed. Routed you still can't control.
One more hit, we're done. War Daddy, Red Leader. I'm listening. Halt!
And one Abrams this the damaged one? Yeah, that's the damaged one. Let's get a supply truck forward. Oh, yeah. Let's not engage there. With this. Ooh, Euro guns. We are up a couple of points, so yeah, remaining 29 minutes still. We are only minute 10 though, so he will need to push us out at some point, but it's still a long time. But at least we have an advantage, and that advantage matters now. Team time limit also helps a lot with giving the game more dynamic. Oh wow, Eurogun actually doing quite some damage there. Try to get the hell out of there, guys. And yeah, with stunt units also being able to move, you might be able to make artillery a bit more deadly. TADB and TADBV over here are kind of scary. Oh, what? That TAD did a hell of a lot of damage. Okay. Okay, we got the TADBV as well. Ah, be careful of the BMPs. We need more infantry in here. No airplay from his side. Let's try to use an Alpha Jet again. Let's get a Raven together with it. And get some Cobras who punish pushes. Cobras are always pretty good in punishing pushes. Overall the best use for helicopters in my book currently. From my perspective. Ah, shit. You're flying too far. Ooh. Okay, yeah. He has his micro better this time. That's dangerous for the Alpha Bird. Yeah, Alpha Bird is down. He's throwing TNT satchels on me. Smoke yourself. You are out of supply, right? Yeah. So we need another supply truck up here. BTRs. The MP3s. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, out, 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 out. Nah, shit, out. Okay, with that, the Alpha Birds cannot be used over here anymore. Let's space our artillery out a bit. Are you damaged? No. Oh, T-80. That's dangerous. T-80 got the kill. Oh, you're coming for my guys, aren't you? Yeah, let's get you the hell out of here. Yeah, this as a leader was a really good choice at the beginning. Gave us the advantage in points and also buffed up quite a lot of our infantry in the center, but it's down. And this is not good because this will give him a take on us. Let's try to kill that over there. Okay, we got the retaliation kill over there. Oh, but the BMP unit got us killed over here. And yeah, units being still able to drive. Units being able to run when stunned is okay. units being able to drive and stunt, it feels a bit off. Especially as it's called stunt. Which, yeah. I mean, kind of makes sense if you make it that way, but... No, oh, you're going too far. Let's move here. Let's move here. Yeah, we are starting to lose this. As he's at a +6 now, that's why I'm saying, like, once you got into the middle, it's super steamrolly currently. Like, +6 is insanely strong. And our 2 artillery guns need to be used for defensive fire here as well. Each getting a supply truck as well. And then one more artillery gun a bit further forward. Oh, that will be on counter battery duty. Because as you can see, enemies coming up in with quite some fire here, quite some heat on us. Chaparral, please get the hell out. Let's get some Kanonenjagdpanzers in here. Also, how is FPS? How's the FPS in the stream currently? Because I'm streaming currently on Insane. So, it feels quite fine for me. Question is it fine on the stream as well? Its performance should be a bit better again. You're supposed to counter battery. Not perfectly timed here. Good micro on his end. Even though kinda unrealistic, but hey. Shit, flying too far forward. Yeah, Seat versus good players like Razzmann still feels kinda useless once they have something. Like, don't know. Like, I kinda like that you have micro, but on the other side, if units just become a noob trap when you buy them, because against good players they just don't work, also always dangerous. Like, TNT, for example, like, I like that you can dodge it somewhat in Steel Division 2, but you were completely able to dodge them in Steel Division Normandy, which make them kind of a noob trap in Normandy. And it feels like Seat might become the same here. Like, it's just not, that they might not just not be worthwhile bringing it all, because with a bit of micro you just can make Seat planes pointless. I mean, I also have had my timing wrong, so counter timing there, but that's something I have worrying about there, that just Seat planes, like, are priced as the counter to AA, but with a bit of micro, as you were able to see, you can just screw them over, because they can't fire in 360 degree, they can just fire forward. So once they fly over you or turn, you just shoot them. Which is like somewhat fun micro, I guess, but it also means that the counter becomes countered by the thing that it's supposed to counter, which don't know if that's fun gameplay. Kanonenjagdpanzer doesn't win that duel, does it? No, it doesn't do shit. Yeah, Kanonenjagdpanzer also not doing damage. And it's still a bit off with AA. Yeah, we are losing this really hard now. Yeah, Chaparral got killed. Like, that's my worry with Seat planes currently. That the counter becomes countered by the thing that's supposed to counter, and then it's sure micro, But you always have to find a balance in video games for that. Like, even with the greatest micros, some counters should still beat you, because that's just the rock, paper, scissors. Like, micro shouldn't be the solution for everything. Micro shouldn't counter good setup and strategy. Like, that's just a worry of mine. As I said, I'm not saying that it is currently the case, that Seat is completely pointless or anything, but I feel like it's quite easy to micro against him. And especially as manpads also still work quite still quite dangerous against him as well. I'm not sure Seat planes are worth it while bringing. Which makes you then question, how do you counter, like, can you bring air at all if the enemy has AA? Because how do you beat the AA? Which I guess is artillery. Why is my defensive fire not working? My these guns have not fired at all, even though there's clearly movement, a lot of movement in these zones. Let's try to move in over here. Let's try to do a counter push. Because he's obviously heavily invested into here. But I think he's just too effective. It's just Razzmann beating my sorry ass, because I'm not used to Wargame at all. He's quite a good player. My Steel Division brain still has to adjust to this. Units behaving this weirdly. What beats what? What tank does actually deal damage? How do I spot infantry in a building? Why do I not see the infantry at some point? I see it now, so yeah. ATGMs and co. Oh, cluster plane. Ugh. Oh yeah, call-in timers also have changed. Like, for example, yeah, now you can see F16 is called in way quicker. But we're still way too slow on that. At least 2 of the Abrams survived. But yeah, we're getting heavily beaten over here. So yeah, let's try to use a recon helicopter. Mech rifles move forward. Engineer's flash moved in there as well. Oh, another cluster. Oh, come on. Oh, come on! F16, how are you so pointless? Can you at least get some damage in? Okay. Let's try to get this. Okay, got the Grancer. Oh no. We don't see the plane anymore. The helicopter anymore. Not good. AA. Let's get one of these. Get some stingers. some make rifles forward.
Tank ready.
Ah, shit.
Yes,
Fast. Last final counter push. Okay, we got the UATs. Wow, what? Interesting. That's a new explosion, I think. Or was that a supply track that we got there?
War Daddy to Red Leader. I'm listening. Yes, sir. HE loaded. Ready to fire.
Wait, was there an enemy helicopter over here?
Tommy's nearby.
Okay. Enemy UATs over here.
Checklist completed. Ready to go.
Yeah, this is quite brutal. And he's really close to winning. Due to 2,000 points. Okay.
Sky is ours. Medic! War Daddy to Red Leader.
And yeah, it's GG.
The captain and his crew welcome you aboard.
Come on.
Brace yourself. We're flying in.
Me-24 now slower.
Enemy
You said the wrong, shoot at the wrong target, but yeah, GG. And yeah, Razzmann kicked my sorry ass. Was quite an enjoyable game though. Yeah, I feel like the next patch will be quite a bit more fun. And infantry recon is for sure helped by being able to sneak into frontal positions. Like one of the most annoying things is that currently sneaking it over the open is just not possible. So if you want to get into, but some positions, like be able to see enemy units at all in the cover, even with good recon, you have to cross some open territory, but they will get spotted and shot on, and sometimes even shot on without your recon even able to see what's there. So being able to get into a good position beforehand will help, and will also lead to some nice skirmishing. I really like the recon zone thingy in WARNO, and it's a nice improvement with this update now here as well. It will be quite nice next week. So yeah. And yeah, unarmed recon transport scouting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why unarmed transports are still a thing. Like the Steel Division system of dealing with it, I feel like was fine, but wargame players complained about it a lot, and Fusion thought, okay, we will bring them back. The price thing is, I guess, okay. Like, and I feel like the price is high enough. You can't make it much higher, otherwise just bringing infantry is just too much of an upfront cost. Yeah, I feel like it's somewhat fine already, because you still pay, but it's also still so gamey. I'm really not a fan of it. I know wargame players like it, and they complained about it a lot not being in Steel Division. But I feel like it's just taking out immersion out of the game so much. Like, it's not a real life. Like, nobody in real life does that. And obviously that's a lot of other part of the games doing it as well, but here it just takes out the immersion for me out of it. Like, nobody tells you that truck driver, oh yeah, drive this way and see everything that shoots at you. Like, obviously one way of dealing with it would be lowering the optics of transports, but that also would mean that you will get ambushed way more, and especially in the early game. Like, I guess it's fine if your transports are completely blind, but yeah, could lead to some really weird gameplay things as well, where you just drive by each other. But I guess with the recon pre-deployment, that's not too much of an issue. So maybe the best way would just to reduce this, the optics of this to like really bad. So I don't know if there's a really bad. I don't know if there's a worse optics than this. Yeah. As I said, like unarmed transports should be functional, like in Steel Division, that they just disappear. Like you come to the battlefield and then they just disappear. Or like auto cell, but like auto cell, it's just like, yeah, don't have them then. Like the cell mechanic obviously was there to make them somewhat function, like, but just make them disappear. It's like the implementation is that they drive back. Just would have less spam on, like less units on the battlefield, make it clearer. And like I feel like for example, like it works well in Steel Division. Like transports might have an implication in WARNO as the maps are a bit deeper, so redeploying might be a bit more of a thing, but I really don't think the game would lose any of its feel from that thing, like that, in my eyes, improvement that they made in Steel Division, of them just not being there anymore. As I said, I would say the 15-point price at least gives a price tag, so it's not completely horrible gameplay-wise that it is there, but just immersion-breaking as hell. Like, the scouting of them is okay in my eyes currently gameplay-wise, because it costs you 15 points to get that bit of information. It's not a free information anymore, or like a super cheap information anymore, like it was in Wargame Red Dragon. But overall, I just don't feel like there needs to be this truck unit that stays on the battlefield. Like, for example, yeah, these should stay, but yeah. Well, the auto capture by enemy would just mean that it would be even worse, Nico, because then people would start just pinballing transports back and forth for information. You would still get information out of your unit getting captured. And then people would just, like, you would just have this pinball game of transports going back and forth. Like, I don't think that changes the problem. I feel like Eugen is a bit too worried in pissing off wargame players with that. Like, they take like critic in regards like that too serious. Like, someone makes an angry Steam forum post about why in Steel Division unarmed transports disappear, and they feel like, okay, that's a vital part of wargame, so we have to bring it back and have to create a whole mechanic around it. Like, the cell mechanic, I would say, is a good idea of going around it, but was it really necessary? Was it really necessary to have that for the trucks, or wouldn't it have just been fine to have them disappear? Like, it's obviously something that the wargame players then would have had to get used to, but it's not, like, from a immersion perspective, is it really that immersion breaking, or is it not more immersion breaking having them running around as scouts? And do we really need that truck column going back to the spawn? Like, is there any value in that? Other than it looks a bit, but it also clutters the map and the gameplay. Like, that's one of my gripes with the truck stuff. And currently trucks are just the most, like I would say truck recon also is so much used, because normal recon is, as I said, for like combat frontline recon is not good enough. Like, behind the enemy lines, all fine. But just like, if you have a deadlock with the enemy, trying to get your recons into a position where they can't see enemy units themselves, and you having intel on the enemy is just so tough that it's easier to just use your transports for that. Just drive them in, suicide them in, and then see what shoots at them, and then see the enemy that way, or at least know what the enemy has to shoot at it. Which is more also a symptom of, in my eyes, of how recon is not, or like spotting is not fully functional. But the more I think about it, is a bit of a cover problem. Cover being a bit allowing for a bit more, too much. Like, the stealth bonus of cover is a bit too high. That way around. It should be a bit lower, the multiplier. Like, that's my thought on it. Well, yeah, but yeah, captured units getting auto-sold by the opponent side is still, like, yeah, it's still a trade. Like, yeah, would make it more of a trade. And as I said, it's not completely horrible currently. Like, it's not destroying the game for me, as these units cost 15 points. And it's an investment. It's a small investment, but it's an investment at least. So, it's an improvement, but I just, yeah. It's not out yet. It's just a pre-show of what's to come. But yeah. We showcase the new map and so on. Yeah, exactly. And sometimes even if the enemy shoots at you, they still don't get revealed, even if you have recon there with the first shot. And especially that feels like really off to me. Like, and it's not by a lot. It's not by a lot, but it just feels off by a slight bit from my perspective. And like, recon behind enemy lines and so on works fine, as I said. Like getting intel on the enemy rear line, I've never had an issue with. Like, and sneaking your infantry in there and getting kills there also not as much, and seeing things in the open, not a problem either. Like there it all feels fine, so it shouldn't be a tweak on the spotting multipliers. It should be a small tweak to the stealth bonus in forests and in buildings, I would say. And if it makes tank spot stuff there too much, then maybe reduce tank optics a bit. But like infantry and stuff should see things in tree lines a bit earlier, like everything from good to very good optics. Yeah, like good and very good optics especially, and normal maybe a bit as well. Those are my eyes. Lots of rangers now having reduced their optics to normal optics. I kind of like that there was a infantry unit that also was a bit of a recon unit. That not because especially now they ain't that much different to the fire team with the 84. Like, there's no difference, right? They are nearly exactly identical now. I kind of liked it that you have had a like somewhat recon option in the infantry tab here.